The starship Aurora glided through the vast stretch of the Erythra Nebula, its silver hull reflecting the soft purple glow of distant stars. Commander Alex Hunter had been sent on a routine diplomatic mission, but the moment he stepped onto Lyresia's capital world, he realized this would be no ordinary mission. His objective was simple: deliver a message of peace from Earth and ensure the alien queen received it personally. What he hadn't expected was to meet her daughter, the alien Princess Leora, and to find himself in a situation that no training could have prepared him for. The palace of Lyresia was unlike any place Alex had ever seen. Its towers reached into the sky like crystal spires, shimmering under the light of twin moons. The corridors were vast and lined with a metal that gleamed like liquid silver. Strange energy fields pulsed faintly in the walls, casting patterns of light that shifted with every step he took. The air was crisp and carried a faint scent of something sweet and metallic at the same time. Every detail made Alex's human senses tingle with curiosity. An aide approached, bowing low. "Commander Hunter," he said, his voice smooth and precise. "Princess Leora awaits you." Alex nodded, straightening his uniform. He had been trained for formal diplomacy, for negotiations that could sway entire worlds. But the feeling of stepping into an alien palace made even a veteran like him feel slightly out of place. The aide led him through corridors that curved and twisted in ways that defied human architecture, finally opening onto a balcony that overlooked the city below. Leora was there. She leaned against the railing, her long hair shimmering in the light like strands of spun silver woven with threads of violet. Her eyes, large and luminous, were fixed on him, holding both curiosity and amusement. Her skin reflected the light like polished metal, smooth and almost ethereal. Despite her delicate appearance, there was a subtle intensity in the way she watched him, a sense that beneath her graceful exterior was a mind sharp and unyielding. "Welcome, human," she said, her voice melodic, carrying a warmth that Alex could feel despite the distance between them. "I've been told much about you." Alex bowed, following the proper protocol he had memorized for weeks. "I hope all of it was favorable, Princess Leora," he replied carefully. Her laughter rang out, light and musical. "Mostly," she said. "But some stories are exaggerated. You humans tend to embellish your feats." Alex smiled, though he felt a twinge of nervousness. This was no ordinary princess. She seemed genuinely interested in him, and that made his careful diplomacy both easier and far more complicated. "I will not deny the exaggeration," he admitted. "Sometimes it makes life sound more exciting than it truly is." Her gaze lingered on him for a moment, and then she asked, "Tell me, human, what is the bravest thing you have ever done?" Alex hesitated. Bravery was often measured differently across species. "I've faced many battles," he began, choosing his words carefully. "But perhaps the bravest thing is protecting those who cannot protect themselves, even when it means risking my own life." Leora's eyes widened slightly, a spark of interest flashing in them. "That is very human," she said thoughtfully. "Brave, selfless, perhaps reckless." She leaned forward slightly. "Do all humans act this way?" Alex shook his head. "Not all. Some act out of fear, some out of selfishness. But courage exists in many, even when hidden." Her smile returned, softer this time. "I like humans who act for others. Perhaps one day I will meet more like you." For the next few hours, Alex was guided through the palace, learning about Lyresia's customs, its history, and its people. He tried to focus on his diplomatic mission, but he could not ignore the way Leora's curiosity seemed endless. She asked about Earth, about human technology, about ideas like courage and love. The conversation flowed naturally, as if they were old friends rather than first-time acquaintances from vastly different worlds. When evening fell, the Queen joined them for the formal dinner. Her presence was commanding, regal, and yet not unkind. She observed Alex with careful scrutiny, clearly impressed by his demeanor and his willingness to answer her daughter's questions honestly. Alex realized that first impressions here mattered even more than on Earth. Every word, every gesture, was under careful evaluation. During the meal, a sudden alarm echoed through the palace, sharp and insistent. Red lights pulsed across the dining hall. Alex immediately recognized the signs of a security breach. "Your Majesty," he said, rising from his seat. "Unknown vessels are approaching. We should secure the palace immediately." The Queen's face remained calm, though Alex could detect the slightest narrowing of her eyes. Leora, however, looked alarmed. "Are they hostile?" she asked. Alex shook his head. "I don't know yet, but we must prepare for all possibilities." Within minutes, the palace shifted into high alert. Shields shimmered into place and elite guards positioned themselves at key points. Alex assisted in coordinating the response, impressed by the seamless integration of alien technology and strategy. Leora watched him closely, her expression a mix of fascination and admiration. She had seen many warriors, but there was something about Alex that made him stand out. A combination of human instinct, courage, and adaptability. When the intruders landed, Alex's worst suspicion was confirmed. A group of heavily armed pirates had entered orbit, intent on plundering the palace. They were desperate and dangerous, but Alex was ready. Leading a small team of elite guards, he intercepted the pirates with a mix of human ingenuity and alien technology. He anticipated their movements, setting traps and disabling their weapons with precision. The battle was fierce but short. Alex's leadership and quick thinking allowed them to neutralize the threat without any major injuries. When it was over, the pirates were disarmed and restrained, and the palace stood intact. Leora approached him as the last of the pirates were escorted away, her eyes wide and sparkling. "You saved them," she said softly, gesturing to the guards and palace staff who had been in harm's way. "And you saved the palace." Alex wiped sweat from his brow and managed a small tired smile. "I did what was necessary," he replied. Leora studied him for a moment, and then her expression softened. "You act without hesitation, without fear. You are remarkable human." Alex's heart raced. He had faced countless dangerous situations in his career, but her words struck him differently. There was an intensity in her gaze that made the world outside the balcony seem distant and unimportant. He struggled to find the right words, then almost instinctively he said, "Princess Leora, would you consider—" His words trailed off and he froze. The weight of what he had almost said made him painfully aware of the diplomatic chaos it could cause. Yet in the strange logic of human courage, he could not take them back. Leora tilted her head, a soft laugh escaping her lips. "Wait, are you proposing to me?" Alex blinked. I didn't mean, if that is acceptable in your culture." Her eyes sparkled with amusement and curiosity. "Your audacity is entertaining, human. Very well. I will not reject a proposal made in courage." Alex swallowed hard. You would say yes?" "Perhaps," she said, tilting her head and smiling mischievously. "But first we must see if your heart is truly worthy of such a commitment." The night stretched on, filled with conversations that ranged from light-hearted to deeply personal. They spoke of their worlds, their philosophies, and the strange similarities that linked them, despite the gulf of space and biology. Alex found himself drawn to Leora in a way that was impossible to explain. She was both alien and familiar, challenging and comforting all at once. When the evening finally drew to a close, Alex stood once more on the balcony, gazing at the twin moons above the Laresian city. Leora's laughter echoed softly in his mind, and he realized that the unexpected proposal, born from honesty, courage, and perhaps a touch of reckless impulse, had opened a door to an adventure that neither of them could have predicted. Humans had always been remarkable in their resilience, ingenuity, and courage. But Alex now understood that being human meant more than survival or strategy. It meant connecting, risking, and daring to act when others might hesitate. And in the quiet beauty of Laresia's night, he resolved that he would prove not just to Leora, but to the entire alien world, that humans were capable of extraordinary things. The palace behind him gleamed under the moons, and somewhere within its crystalline walls the princess waited. Alex didn't yet know what challenges the coming days would bring, but one thing was certain: his life, and perhaps even the fate of Laresia, would never be the same. The next morning the palace of Laresia was quiet, the soft glow of the twin suns reflecting off its crystal towers. Commander Alex Hunter walked through the corridors, his mind racing with thoughts of the night before. The events of the previous evening, the proposal, Leora's laughter, the unexpected battle, had left him both exhilarated and anxious. Today he would have to navigate more than diplomacy. He would have to earn the trust of a princess and a people who had never seen humans as anything more than legends. He entered the training hall, a vast space filled with holographic projections, alien weapons, and exercise equipment. Leora was already there, observing the holographic practice sessions of the royal guards. She turned as he entered, her violet eyes sparkling with amusement. "You're early," she said. "I did not expect humans to rise before the sun, especially after yesterday's excitement." Alex offered a small smile. "I like to be prepared. If I am to stand beside you, I must be ready for anything." Her gaze softened, but she didn't speak. Instead, she gestured toward the training area. "Then prove it." Alex followed her to a simulation where the royal guards were facing a holographic assault. He observed their tactics and realized they were effective but rigid. Humans, he knew, thrived on flexibility and improvisation. Stepping into the simulation, he moved with precision, using the guards' own patterns against the holographic enemies. He dodged attacks, countered strikes, and neutralized targets faster than anyone had expected. Leora's eyes widened, a mixture of surprise and admiration crossing her face. "You are remarkable," she said. "Not only do you fight well, but you think differently. Humans are unpredictable in the best way." Alex nodded, still focused on the simulation. Sometimes unpredictability is the key to survival, and sometimes it is the key to winning trust. The day passed with lessons in alien strategy, culture, and technology. Leora tested him at every turn, curious about his decisions and his perspective. At lunchtime, they walked through the palace gardens where alien flora glowed faintly under the twin suns. The air smelled sweet and sharp at the same time, and Alex found himself momentarily distracted by the beauty around him. "Tell me, Alex," Leora said, her voice softening as they walked. "Why do humans risk themselves for strangers? Why do you fight for those you do not know?" He looked at her, surprised by the depth of her question. "Because it is the right thing to do," he said simply. "Courage is not about strength or weapons. It is about making choices when the outcome is uncertain, about protecting others even when it costs you something. That is what makes humans human." Leora considered his words, her expression thoughtful. "Perhaps that is why your kind has always been admired, even by distant worlds. You act with heart, not just with logic." As the day turned to evening, news arrived that a rival faction within the Lyresian court was plotting against the queen. They opposed the presence of humans and feared the influence Alex represented. Alex realized that his presence, his courage, and even his proposal to Leora had made him a target. The queen summoned him to the council chamber, a grand hall with walls that shimmered like liquid silver. She regarded him with calm eyes. "Commander Hunter," she said, "your presence has been beneficial yet dangerous. Some within the court view humans as intruders. You must prove that your intentions are honorable and that your courage is genuine." Alex bowed respectfully. "I understand, Your Majesty. I will do whatever is necessary to protect Lyresia and its people." Leora entered quietly, standing beside her mother. Her hand brushed against his arm, a small gesture of reassurance. "Do not worry, Alex," she said softly. "I have faith in you. Your heart is clear and your courage shines. That is all that matters to me." The queen nodded, then turned her attention to the council. "We face challenges from those who seek to destabilize our rule. We must unite and show strength." That night, the palace was tense. Guards patrolled the corridors, and Alex was assigned to protect the princess. Leora, despite the danger, remained calm. She moved through the halls with grace, her curiosity undiminished by the threat surrounding them. Suddenly, a group of assassins emerged from a hidden passage. Alex reacted instantly, positioning himself between the princess and the attackers. Using a combination of human combat techniques and alien technology, he neutralized the threat efficiently. His movements were precise, his instincts sharp. Leora watched him wide-eyed as he fought without hesitation, without fear, and with a determination that seemed almost unreal. When the last attacker fell, Alex turned to Leora. "Are you unharmed?" he asked. She nodded, a small smile forming. "Thanks to you. I have seen courage before, but this is something different. You are extraordinary, Alex." The following days were filled with further tests of his skill, strategy, and character. Leora challenged him in debates, exercises, and simulations, each time learning more about the human who had proposed to her on a whim. Alex, in turn, discovered the depth of Leora's intelligence, her compassion, and her fierce loyalty to her people. They grew closer with every shared moment, their connection deepening beyond duty or curiosity. One afternoon, they explored the palace archives, where ancient records of Lyresia's history were stored. Leora traced her fingers over the holographic images of past rulers, battles, and legendary heroes. "You know," she said softly, "humans are often spoken of as myths in our histories, brave, unpredictable, capable of greatness. I thought they were stories, but now I see one in front of me." Alex smiled, a hint of pride in his voice. "Sometimes legends are only real when someone dares to be themselves. Humans can be many things, but we are strongest when we act with heart." As days turned into weeks, Alex proved himself repeatedly, not just through combat or strategy, but through acts of kindness, honesty, and courage. He helped the palace staff during crises, resolved conflicts among guards with tact, and offered wisdom in council deliberations. Leora observed all of this, her admiration growing, but so did the respect of the queen and her court. Then came the ultimate challenge. A massive fleet, loyal to the rival faction, approached Lyresia's capital, intent on seizing control. The queen called upon Alex to lead the defense. Though outnumbered, he relied on human ingenuity and alien technology to devise a plan that would protect the palace and its people. Alex coordinated with the Lyresian forces, setting ambushes, predicting enemy movements, and using the terrain of space itself to his advantage. The battle was fierce, with explosions lighting up the nebula and ships maneuvering at impossible speeds. Yet Alex's leadership and decisiveness turned the tide. Lyresia's forces, guided by his strategies, repelled the attackers, securing the safety of the palace and the queen's rule. After the battle, the palace erupted in celebration. Leora approached Alex, her eyes shining with pride and relief. "You have done what no one else could," she said softly. "You have shown not only courage, but heart, intelligence, and loyalty. You have proven yourself beyond any doubt." Alex took a deep breath, exhausted but elated. "I only did what I had to do for you, for your people, and for the promise we made." Leora smiled, a radiant expression that made the entire room seem brighter. She reached for his hand. "Then I accept your proposal, Alex. Not because it was made in boldness, but because it comes from a heart that is worthy of trust and love. Humans are indeed extraordinary, and you, Alex Hunter, are proof." The queen stepped forward, placing a hand on her daughter's shoulder. "You have brought honor, courage, and wisdom to this palace," she said to Alex. "You have shown the true value of humans, and for that you have our respect and our blessing." From that day onward, Alex was no longer just a commander from Earth. He became a symbol of humanity's potential, a living testament to the strength, courage, and heart that humans carried across the stars. His bond with Leora grew stronger, their partnership a blend of love, trust, and mutual respect. Together they faced new challenges, explored uncharted worlds, and showed that the greatest strength of any civilization was not technology or power, but the courage, compassion, and determination of its people. And so, on the world of Lyresia, under the twin suns and amidst the crystal towers, the human and the alien princess stood together, united by choice, trust, and the extraordinary qualities that made humans legendary. Alex Hunter had not only survived an alien court and dangerous enemies, but he had also proven that humanity's heart was a force that could inspire even the farthest stars. In the quiet of the palace that night, as Leora rested her hand in his, Alex looked up at the twin moons and realized that this was only the beginning. Humans were extraordinary, and he was living proof. Across the stars, legends could be real, and sometimes they came in the form of a simple human who dared to act with courage and heart. The palace lights dimmed, and the city of Lyresia slept under the gentle glow of the moons. But inside, a human and an alien princess dreamed of adventures yet to come, their paths forever intertwined, proving that in a universe full of wonders, the courage of one human could change everything.